At sunrise, the Nile is the wrong color. The water looks red, fish float near the bank, and the smell reaches the houses before the news does. You wake inside a small mud brick home with no warning, no reserve tank, and no modern authority explaining whether the river is poisonous, temporary, or permanent. According to the book of Exodus, this is only the first plague. 9 more disasters will strike before the crisis ends. The danger is not 10 separate events. It is one long collapse in which every new problem attacks people already weakened by the last one. Your survival will depend less on bravery than on what you protect first: water, food, shelter, health, and the people willing to cooperate with you. The story is biblical, and the exact historical setting remains debated. But the survival pressures it describes are brutally easy to understand. For an ordinary family, the Nile is not scenery. It supplies drinking water, irrigation, fish, transport, mud for construction, and the rhythm of daily work. A wealthy household might own deeper stores. You are a worker with a spouse, aging relatives, and only a few days of food. That changes every decision. Leaving may be dangerous, but staying beside a failed river could become worse with every hour. The first survival rule is simple: treat every resource as if the next disaster will arrive before it can be replaced. When the river becomes unusable, thirst becomes the fastest threat. In extreme heat, a healthy adult can deteriorate rapidly without water. The first move is to search for wells, stored rainwater, or any source not directly connected to the contaminated river. But thousands of other people will make the same decision. A reliable well can become a place of delay, conflict, and exhaustion. Every jar must now be sealed, shaded, measured, and assigned. Drinking comes before washing, cooking, or cleaning floors. Cloth filtration can remove mud and debris, but it cannot guarantee that dangerous contamination has disappeared. Fuel for boiling is also limited. The dead fish create a second crisis. A major food source is gone, and decay begins along the same banks where people work and travel. Irrigation water is now suspect, and work slows. Even if the plague ends quickly, crops and income may already be damaged. Do you leave immediately? The road offers distance from the river, but travel consumes the same water you are trying to save. Then the frogs come. They move from the river into courtyards, ovens, sleeping rooms, and every cool place where food is stored. The frogs are not predators. The immediate danger is contamination, ruined sleep, crushed food, and the impossibility of keeping a clean surface. You move food off the floor, cover every vessel, and keep sleeping mats away from damp walls. Small habits now protect the few supplies you have left. But when the frogs die, the problem changes. Rotting bodies create odor, insects, and more pressure on a population already short of clean water. Removing waste from the house matters, but digging pits, carrying loads, and cleaning tools all demand energy and water you cannot spare. By the end of the second plague, thirst, odor, heat, and interrupted sleep are already weakening judgment. Next come tiny biting pests, described in translations as gnats, lice, or similar insects rising from the dust. Without screens, sealed rooms, modern repellent, or reliable washing water, there is almost no clean boundary between the insects and your body. Scratching damages the skin. Small cuts become more dangerous when hands, cloth, tools, and sleeping areas cannot be cleaned properly. Then larger swarms of flies arrive. They settle on food, animals, eyes, and every wet surface left by the earlier plagues. The safest household is not the strongest. It is the one that keeps waste, food, animals, and sleeping areas as separate as possible. You seal grain, hang meat or dried food above the floor, and clean preparation tools before using precious water on anything cosmetic. But exhaustion creates mistakes. A jar is left open, a cut goes untreated, or someone drinks from a source that looked clean enough. By now, survival depends on cooperation. A single household cannot guard water, remove waste, tend animals, and search for food at the same time. The fifth plague strikes the livestock. In the biblical account, disease kills animals across Egypt and destroys far more than meat. Oxen pull plows. Donkeys carry water and grain. Cattle, goats, and sheep provide milk, hides, dung fuel, wealth, and future food. Your best chance is to separate healthy animals early, reduce shared water, and keep sick animals away from food stores. But separation requires space, labor, and extra containers. Poor families have less of all three. If the animals die, the immediate loss is painful. The delayed loss may be fatal when fields cannot be worked and goods cannot be transported. Carcasses also become sanitation hazards. They must be moved away from wells and homes without exposing more people than necessary. Even if you survive this week, the household economy may already be gone. No transport, no milk, no field power, and no reserve wealth. The sixth plague becomes personal. Painful skin lesions spread, and work that was already difficult becomes almost impossible. Without antibiotics, sterile dressings, or knowledge of microbes, the goal is basic: keep skin clean, avoid more injury, and conserve strength. Every cup used for washing a wound is a cup not used for drinking. Every hour spent resting is an hour of work lost. Caregivers are now carrying the entire household. They fetch water, protect food, tend animals, and help people who can no longer stand comfortably. Pain also changes behavior. People sleep less, argue faster, and take risks they would reject under normal conditions. Then the sky changes. The seventh plague arrives as a violent hailstorm, described in Exodus with fire flashing through the storm. The survival decision is immediate: leave the fields, bring animals under cover, and stay away from exposed roofs and open ground. Mud brick walls can be strong, but roofs made from timber, reeds, and packed earth may leak, crack, or partially fail under impact and water. You choose the strongest room, keep away from the weakest wall, and protect the water jars from falling debris. Anyone caught outside risks severe injury. Animals and crops left in the open may be lost before the storm moves on. When the hail stops, survival shifts again. The first task is not rebuilding everything. It is finding what can still keep you alive. Dry grain is separated from wet grain. Roof holes are patched. Usable wood is recovered before another storm or cold night arrives. The fields are badly damaged, but some food may remain. That remaining food is exactly what the eighth plague will attack. A dark line appears on the horizon. It is not another storm. It is a moving wall of locusts. Locusts do not need to attack people to create a catastrophe. They only need to eat what the hail left behind. Doors and shutters can keep some insects out of the house, but they cannot protect open fields or replace the harvest. Stored grain becomes more valuable than tools, jewelry, or furniture. It must stay dry, sealed, hidden, and carefully divided. Scarcity changes the human threat. Theft, hoarding, and conflict become more likely when every family sees the same empty fields. The famine does not begin when the last stalk disappears. It begins when people realize there will be no normal harvest to replace what they eat today. Then comes darkness. The biblical account describes a thick darkness over Egypt for 3 days, a crisis of movement, work, and fear. Whatever its cause within the story, the survival effects are clear. Travel stops, work slows, and every flame becomes a limited resource. You group everyone in one room, block hazards on the floor, and keep the lamp away from cloth, grain, and dry reeds. Moving through unlit lanes risks falls, collisions, robbery, and losing the path back to the only supplies you have. Guarding food becomes harder because staying awake consumes energy and lamp oil. Sleep becomes another resource to schedule. After weeks of thirst, insects, illness, livestock loss, storm damage, and hunger, darkness attacks the mind as much as the body. The 10th plague must be treated differently. In the biblical story, a night of death strikes Egyptian households and breaks the political resistance. There is no practical survival trick that can turn this part of the narrative into an ordinary disaster drill. The book of Exodus distinguishes Israelite households through a ritual sign of protection. That belongs to the faith narrative, not to modern emergency advice. Across Egyptian homes, the human consequence is grief, shock, and the sudden collapse of confidence in the ruler's refusal. The crisis finally changes the decision at the top. Pharaoh allows the Israelites to leave, ending one conflict but not repairing the country. For your household, permission and politics do not restore water, animals, crops, roofs, health, or sleep. Surviving the immediate events is only the first victory. The next weeks bring displacement, disease risk, hunger, and economic ruin. The best strategy would have started early. Protect clean water, seal food, separate waste, shelter animals, preserve lamp oil, and share labor. Even then, no household can control the river, the insects, the weather, the harvest, or the decisions of a ruler. That is why cooperation matters more than individual toughness. Wells, sanitation, shelter, food, and information all become shared survival systems. Leaving the river valley may reduce one danger, but travel after 10 disasters means heat, weak bodies, scarce food, and uncertain roads. Could an ordinary person survive? Possibly, with early access to clean water, protected stores, strong shelter, and a cooperative community. But for a poor household with no warning and no reserves, the combined odds would become worse with every plague. The Nile fails first, then hygiene, animals, health, crops, light, order, and hope. That sequence is what makes the 10 plagues a survival nightmare. So imagine the river turning red outside your home, with no warning that 9 more catastrophes are coming. What would you protect first?